Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into my daily every weekday morning. I was going to see how this was going to work. I thought I would have more of a voice. I'm getting in touch with my inner male. Oh my goodness. Let's try this again. You're just tuned into my daily. My mind's not even working either. Tasha, take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, TLive, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, Streaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk at all. In fact, we don't talk about the headlines at all. Excuse me. Because I want to balance out all that bad news and the headlines out there with some heart lines and some good news. So for the past 700 consecutive weeks, yes, it is a giant milestone day here. I'm going to give myself some big props. 7 working consecutive weeks. I have been here on the air, on camera, bringing this show to you, no matter if I have a voice or not. Yeah, I lost my voice this last week. I had, I think, like 2 speaking gigs a day for 3 consecutive days. And then I sang at an event, and then I tried to rest my voice for the weekend, but the weekend had other plans. And I figured as a judge at a fashion show, I wouldn't have to talk that much, right? Wrong. So you're going to have to put up with this getting in touch with my inner male. And if it gets really bad, I will, I'll figure something out. But I'm so glad you're here. It is Monday. My singing voice is shot too. Mental Health Matters Mondays, where I have dedicated this Monday series to talking about things that affect your mental health that you can take responsibility for and change yourself before reaching for things and people and places and drugs outside of yourself to make you feel better. So that's what this series is dedicated to. And on Mondays, you also get an Asian Oprah giveaway, a audiobook copy of my #1 national best-selling book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, which has got great reviews on Amazon. And I don't check that often. And when I do, I'm just blown away by the kindness of the descriptions. And most of all, how much the book has helped people love themselves, which is the whole purpose of it. So that's my first gratitude. Those of you who are here, I see eyeballs rolling in. Thanks for joining. I'm live every weekday morning, rain or shine, voice or not. And so we start every morning with breakfast, which is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich, top of the bun, things we're grateful for outside of ourselves, bottom of the bun, things that we're grateful for inside of ourselves that we do before bed tonight. Okay, here we go. So I gave you the first gratitude, which was the impact of this book on people's lives to make it more happy, because I am on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. Grateful for that. That's the first one. The second one that I'm grateful for is this, my coffee. That's me being one with my coffee. That first sip of coffee in the morning, nothing like it. That's two. I am grateful that I had a very fun day yesterday. I was asked to be a judge for the RLC fashion show at Santa Anita Raceway. If you haven't been there, give them a little bit of love. Great, fun racing. I forgot to get the name of my bookie there, but he was awesome. Last year when I went to the fashion show, I was just a guest, a VIP guest, and I could go, make my bets throughout the fashion show, throughout the 10 races. And yesterday I was not able to do that as a judge, and it was great. But I made all my bets at the beginning, and I couldn't even see the horses, and I was like, I didn't win anything for the first 7 races, and I was like bummed. And then race 8, 9, and 10, I came back with $299. So that was awesome. I do love winning. That's one thing that is very known about me. It's not whether you win or lose, it's whether I win or lose. So that was so fabulous. So I'm grateful that I won that. And I'm grateful that the fashion show was fabulous and models were great. And I was able to celebrate. It was great watching. I used to model 8 years, and it was a great memory too. And playing with my co-host Ricky Rebel, and we were dancing. I think we danced more than anybody there. It was so funny. But yeah, I met a lot of people who came up to me and said, "Oh, I've seen you on the carpet. I've seen you on YouTube. I've seen you in social, and I love your energy." And that was beautiful too. Lots and lots of meeting people live in 3D that you just see their hearts or their likes or their positive comments. So that I'm grateful for. All right, to save my voice, I think we'll go to the bottom of the bun. And the bottom of the bun is what do you like about yourself? What are you grateful for inside of yourself? What do you like inside? And why do we do this? We do this because it's like weight training, right? A lot of us grew up with well-meaning parents, sometimes more mean than well, or, primary figures, teachers, church people, aunts and uncles, grandparents, who were not your biggest fan. And if you tried to brag or say something that you did well, that you were told, don't toot your own horn, or you're not all that. And well-meaning, again, because you don't want to be a braggart. But that forced humility is sometimes damaging to your own sense of esteem and your own sense of worth. And then you learn that your role or goal in life is to make other people happy, which it is not. But that's how I was raised, right? I was only as good as how I could please my mom. And so that habit continued through my life. So I would try to please other people. That's how I got my sense of self-worth. my sense of esteem, and how I was loved. And it's not a great way to live, because you're not going to make everybody happy all of the time, even most of the time, maybe some of the time, depending on who they are. So the most important person to approve of yourself is you. And some of us grew up with an entity, a God, who was a punishing God. And so that was still an extension of, if you make someone else happy, then you are a good person. But we are raised, or we have an internal connection with a power, and a friendly, conspires for us, never against us, non-punishing. That's what I believe. That's my BS, my belief system. That works for me. And if whatever belief system you have right now isn't working for you, you are free to adopt mine, because it works. Because I went from not liking myself and hating myself, and no matter how many things I did quickly, or got an award for, or achievements and accomplishments, inside I was still, afraid of failure, afraid of success, fear of failure, fear of success, self-sabotaging, perfectionism, which goes into paralysis, perfectionism, which goes into procrastination, which goes into paralysis. That's slide. That's a dis-ease of perfectionism. And then I usually tell a joke here. I've always wanted to be a procrastinator, but I never got around to it. But I'm bummed. But I realized after decades of trying to make other people happy, that and blaming people who were mean to me, who should have been nice to me. And it was a shiitake show. My life was a shiitake show. Because every day I woke up, all right, what can I do better? What shouldn't I have done? How dare they? And how can I make them happy? And it was not pleasant, until I finally broke down to a point where I knew that something had to change. And I had to stop numbing myself. I had to stop shitting on myself. I had to stop blaming other people for how bad I felt, and take responsibility and look at how I was making myself unhappy. And that's how all of that story, and all of the tools that I use to move past that pain, the past pain, and the future fear, into the present, into the pain, and then into the power. That's all in that book. And that's why I know that's what my purpose is to, it's not for everybody, but certainly for the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma, this is one way out of the trauma and into a very happy life 88% of the time. So that's why I do this show. We were doing the gratitude sandwich, and the bottom of the bun, I'll just sum it up. That bottom of the bun, what do I like about myself is that I can take pain. I can take this this bullshitaki that we grow up with, that like bad things don't happen to good people, or bad things shouldn't happen to good people. Bad things happen to everybody. There's not one person on the earth who isn't touched by pain of some kind. And pain has a purpose. So if you are blaming or shaming or wondering why why me? Well, why not you? Well, it's everybody, why not take that pain and see it as something that is refining you, that is chiseling you like a sculpture, that is irritating you like a grain of sand in an oyster shell to grow that pearl. That's all the pearl is. It's salve put on that irritating sand. You know, you've sand in your life. I know the people that irritate you in your life, they're grains of sand. They're your opportunity to make a pearl. And yeah, so that's what I like about myself, is that I'm a master pearl maker. I am a master turning brown and black bruised bananas into delicious banana bread, because I'm not crazy about lemonade. That's why I don't use lemons with lemonade. I got to make everything my own. So yeah, so that's the breakfast with me, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And I hope you continue with me. I'm on every weekday morning. Tuesday, talent. Wednesdays, doctors in the house. Thursday is Throwback Thursday, unless I have a guest. And actually, this Thursday will be the first new series that's coming out. And he's been on the show before. He's the founder of Nori. And you'll find out all about that this Thursday. So you have to tune in to that new series with Mark Simon. So you'll have to tune in. And then Friday is Straight Talk. So, you know, I have something interesting for every single weekday morning. So hopefully you will come and join me, and that will be great. So when you do breakfast every weekday morning, you will sandwich your day in the most delicious and positive way. All right. There it is. Let's see if I can pull this up. I wanted to show this to you. It's called Beat Cancer with Nutrition is the name of the series. And that's starting this Thursday. Let's see, share this tab. See if I can pull this up and make it bigger. There we go. Can you see that? That's the new series that is coming up this Thursday. All right. Thank you for joining me for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. For Mental Health Matters Mondays, it is... I'll have to look the description up so I can remember. My brain is where my voice is to find it. All right. Yesterday when SpaceX was going up, I didn't know what that was, but I had to pull over to take the video. It was so cool. I love seeing things for the first time. I've never seen something like that. And it just reminded me about my goal always to go up, hashtag UP, hashtag unlimited possibilities. So I loved just watching it, not knowing what it was and not Googling it to see what it was, but just enjoying the sight of things going up. So it made me think about the Myers-Briggs personality inventory, which I am licensed or qualified or whatever. You have to get an okay from the company to administer it. And we're not going to do the Myers-Briggs now because it's long to keep it accurate. But I use it a lot in my consulting as an organizational psychologist to help describe why people drive other people crazy. And it helps people understand that it's not personal when some people are so irritating and so annoying, but it's a personality preference difference. Doesn't mean that it cannot be changed, but everybody has preferences. when it comes to these 4 indices of differences that Myers-Briggs has divided people into. And it is malleable. I do believe you do change over time. That's not quite what the theory says, but I know that I have changed. So I don't think I'm unique that way. So, and I've validated that with watching some of my clients and so on. I think it's a factor of change and experience, but the predisposition towards one end or the other is there. And on some indices, I'm a split. Some people use it on dating profiles to say I'm an ENFJ, and that's what my profile is. It's, I think, one of the most common profiles, but it helps me understand why some people click with me and some people don't. And so yesterday, for example, when I saw that line of white light go up, my immediate was, I got to find out what it is, right? So we use my assistant Google and go look and see what it is. And, what is it? It's a bird, it's a plane. It's not Superman. So I wanted to go Google, but then I'd miss it. So I thought, it's so cool if I can leave the knowing of it and let it be unlimited interpretations. And that's what a high P person would do. Now, P stands for perceiving on the Myers-Briggs, and J stands for judging. It doesn't mean you're judgmental. However, many high J judging people are. I am a very high J, but all high J means is you want to know what it is. All right. So you see something and automatically you want to know what you're looking at. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? What is it? So the knowing, you feel good, right? If you don't know, it doesn't feel good. There's that tension to close. For a high P, you want to know what it is. So in meetings, if your boss comes in with a question, and brainstorming is not necessarily your favorite activity because there's just too many ideas and you want to find the answer to the question. So high J's want to close. So their funnel goes like this. And that's what, feels good. Is it good, bad, right, wrong, black, white? What category does it go into? So when I saw that line going up in the sky, my first thing was, I wonder what that is. And I really was like, I want to know. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to be a little more P, which is perceiving, and keep it open. Well, I don't know. It could be a lot of things, right? Conspiracy theorists, but, the end of the world, it's all a rocket line, blah, 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 blah. So that's not necessarily where I want you to focus on that. But leaving it open is a high P thing. So in contrast to a high J, a high P doesn't want to close. A high P wants to keep saying, well, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. And there's a happiness in the not closing. There's a happiness in keeping things open, right? So to go in a meeting and have somebody, shut down every single possibility and go straight to solution is annoying. Well, then why did you ask me the question? If you knew the answer already, why are you asking me to brainstorm? Because you already have the answer. Usually in my corporate clients, they're like nodding about no. So there is one area when you're having relationships with people, work relationships, or personal relationships, romantic relationships, if you find yourself being annoyed and unhappy, it's unhappy making, by people because they are annoying you in the way that they go about seeing the world. Like, this isn't just about solving problems. This is about the way you even take a vacation. So I will use a personal example. My husband and I, he was my husband, when we would go on vacation, he's a very high P. And I know they've done a study on why it is. Well, it's part of that opposites attract thing. At the beginning, opposites are a cute thing. And then like 3 months into the relationship, it becomes an annoying thing. Why can't they? That's my pregnancy model of relationships. That's another topic. So we would go on vacation, and at breakfast, I would say, so where are we going for dinner? Because I want to know. I want to have that in mind. I want my whole day planned. I'm a New York planner. I grew up on the East Coast-ish in Ontario, which is considered east, an hour west and north of Toronto. And so I've been a planner all my life. I know exactly what I'm doing 6 months from now. Well, I did, but that no thanks to 2 blood clots. I'm no longer doing that, but we're not going there. So I know. I want to know, and I know. So I wanted to know where we were going for dinner. And my husband, high P, perceiving, wants to keep the options open and also wants to be in the present moment, said, I'm having breakfast right now. Why do you want to talk about dinner? Can I just enjoy my breakfast? Well, okay, fine. I'll give in, we still have time. I'll ask him at lunch. So we get to lunch, and sure enough, I'll say, so what do you want to do for dinner? I'm having my lunch. Can we not decide? I just want to enjoy my lunch. High P, keep it open, options open. Me, high J, trying to close. 4 o'clock rolls around. Okay, I know what I want to go for dinner. I'm like, great. Where do you want to go? And he says, Morton's. And I'm like, we can't go to Morton's because we needed a reservation. If you had told me at breakfast, we could have got a reservation. And yeah, that's why the marriage ended. I'm just kidding. No, well, it was, differences. We were so different on so many, like, honestly, on all 4 indices, we were completely polar opposites. And that's not why we divorced, but it certainly fed into, because you can take a certain amount of differences, opposites attract, and then after a while, like if you don't have any clue at all, yeah. But again, that's another topic, but I'm using this as some information that could help you understand why it is that you are unhappy with some people in your interactions. And it's really not personal. So I will come back and talk about this knowledge, this difference, and how you can see it in a way that doesn't make you unhappy. Okay? Because we have to take a break for news, weather, traffic, and a word from our sponsor. But don't go away. We'll be right back and take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Gong. My name is Dr. Marissa Pay. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through new thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes. Body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢.
Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I will.
Do you like jazz like I do? I love jazz. And Catalina Jazz Tracks Festival has been going on since 1987. This is the 38th Jazz Tracks Festival. And I am so delighted that my sister that just went by, my twin sister, we joke around. She's Japanese, I'm Chinese. You've seen her on the show as my guest many times. She will be performing on Friday night, October 10th, but 2 solid weekends is the availability for you to go and enjoy the best jazz has to offer. The founder, our good, fabulous friend of mine, continues to bring the Hiroshima Trio. There's Keiko again, Peepo Bryson, Eric Darius is amazing, Gerald Albright, the Bob James Quartet, Vincent Ingala. They're going so fast. Brian Simpson and Steve Oliver. A lot of these people I've been really, really grateful that I've gotten to know and enjoy their artistry. If you love jazz, you cannot miss this incredible Jazz Tracks Festival going on for 2 weekends in October since 1987. So go and enjoy Catalina Jazz Tracks Festival. Just go to jazztracks.com.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KZAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and of course my YouTube TV channel, where you can give me the finger when you free subscribe. This one, not the other one. And you can enjoy my red carpet playlist with celebrity interviews on the red carpet, Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and many more. And you can also get all 1,483 podcast shows over the past 700 consecutive weeks. Amazing. I am so grateful. I'm still here, still balancing out bad news with good news, still balancing out headlines with heartlines, and not talking about the things that piss you off first thing in the morning. There's plenty of places you can get that. You know, when you come here, I'm all about my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And thank you for allowing me to come at you one more time. All right. So we've been talking about personality differences, high P's and high J's, and how they drive each other crazy. And you're very unhappy when you have to deal with people who drive you crazy at work or at home. And I'm trying to cajole you into seeing that sometimes when people you think are doing something to piss you off, it's not personal. It's just where they're coming from on how they're seeing the world. And J's and P's are one of the biggest differences. High J's, those who like to close, who like to know, who want to know, is it good, bad, black, white? What category is it into? And then high P's, which is people who like to keep it open, like to keep their options open. They're the ones that if you bring them an agenda that day and ask them a question, they would say, you know, if you'd given me a little time to research this so I could come with better prepared with some, you know, answers versus guesses, it would have been helpful. So there's a typical high P, high J interaction that could drive you crazy. Instead, you know, this is, you know, who's better, a high J or a high P, a high judging or a high perceiving? I will, of course, say the high J because I'm a high J, but actually neither is better. If people only operated on J's, if the world was all J's, we would have one way of doing everything, and it wouldn't always be the right way because we want to close and figure it out, but life isn't that simple. It's not a Newtonian world. There's not one solution for every one problem. Problems are multifaceted. That's why having a high P on your team is a good thing, because they will look at things outside of the box. They'll come up with, you know, a continuous improvement, as in learning organizations, which I'm a specialist at as an organizational psychologist. That's what my PhD is in. So that's, you know, we have to have both high J's and high P's. So how do you work with someone, or how do you be in a relationship when someone drives you crazy with those differences, with those specific differences? And the first is take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in. And releasing all the stories and the drama. That's the breath connecting with the body. And the first breath, the mind, and the second breath, and the third breath. Connecting with me and those around you with the breath, the spirit, chi, No beginning, no end. It connects us all. The breath connects us all. And then, it's not personal, right? Our disagreement and how we see things, it's not personal. I'm seeing things differently than you. And thank God we don't all think alike. Now, right now with the political climate, I know if you don't think like me, you're wrong. If you don't think like me, you're an idiot. If you don't think like me, I hate you. If you don't think like me, I'm canceling you. I'm dropping you. I'm ghosting you. And it's not a direction I want to go in because, like it or not, variety and continuous expanding, and we're not one way. I mean, there is no ultimate right and wrong. I know that's hard for some people. Well, what about killing babies? And what about, starvation? That's wrong. And what about, uh, Hitler and Taliban and all of those things. There is an ultimate right or wrong. There is an ultimate, line in the sand, and how, it's our job to keep every single country in line, and it's our job to da da da. It's our job to, make sure that people, you know, uh, do the crime, do the time, and all of this, and that's a really high J, to be honest. That's a high J. It's my way or the highway, and we've lost our ability to open up for at least, bipartisan is my favorite word because that's a systemic thinker. It is thinking outside of your political affiliation. We're not our politics. We're not our religion. We are one of a kind, amazing, loving, and lovable beings. We are humankind, emphasis on kind. So we've lost our ability to agree to disagree. And this particular topic today is one that can help us get back to agree to disagree. So when you know what you are, if you're a high J and you know what you are, know that your tendency is to close. Know that your tendency is to be impatient when people can't make up their minds. They're not bad people if they cannot make their minds. People who are indecisive are not bad people. And on the contrary, if you're a high P and you see people who are judgmental and critical and, make snap judgments and make knee-jerk reactions, which will make them look like jerks, they're not bad people. That is just the way that they are accustomed to looking at the world. So you've got two extremes. If you're a high P, high perceiving, you don't like to close, you want to keep your options open. The benefits are you get to look at a lot of different possibilities. You're able to see things that, we're not closed to because your eyes are open. You're seeing peripherally. You're looking at short-term, long-term impact. You're looking at all the possibilities. That's the good news. The bad news is at some point, we have to make a decision, right? Can't always keep it open forever. On the other hand, judgers, you want to close. I get that. You want to come to solution. And the good news is when there is no time, right, then yeah, it's good to be able to come collate all of the information and quickly come to that solution or that plan or that objective or that vision or whatever it is, that mission. But if there is time, and there should be time, here's a should, because a lot of organizations that I go into now, they don't make the time. Everything is a fire. Everything is a red hot button. And so there's no time to talk about those things that are, strategically important to look at in the long term. I'll give you a great example. This whole push for companies to convert customer service and make it more efficient by going to automated systems really, they didn't look at the implications. One, with people who maybe aren't tech savvy in your population. Number two, that your systems are imperfect in being able to even understand voice recognition. I don't know how many times I've been so frustrated with the automated systems that I give up and I go to another supplier because I just hate it. And I have often said that I could make a lot of money if I had the working capital to start with to create a company that does advertise it. You will never get an automated system. I think there's a lot of people who would go, yeah, I'll come buy from you. It's premium quality, premium service. I'll pay for it because my irritation is worth, paying more for. Anyways, so that was one of those snap judgments to outsource as well, to automate. And now companies are like, maybe that wasn't such a great idea. I know a high J made that decision. I'll guarantee it. They didn't look at the impact long term or even short term with the customer service bank. For the newer generation, they grew up a little more automated. And so, yeah, these kinds of differences, right, again, illustrate the high J's are not the answer, the high P's are not the answer, but there has to be a working understanding and an okayness with each other when it comes to high P's interacting with high J's. And if you want to do international business, you don't have a choice because other cultures, there's studies you can look at, Myers, and they go in and they look at companies. When I did my second year research project in my first master's at Rockwell International, what was interesting, I used the Myers to look at succession planning. And there was a very high profile, most of the people in the company had that same profile. And it was an I believe STP. And it was interesting when the person who was passing down the position in succession planning, you're planning for your successor, you would think that people are being picked based on performance, right? Not personality, not your personality type. But it was really interesting. It was almost 100%. The successor chosen was the same type as the person that was retiring. So what does that say? It doesn't mean that ISTP is a bad profile, but the diversity that has been studied that makes companies more creative, have better solutions. That's a very well examined and published empirical finding. My professor Kellen Gersick's wife, Dr. Connie Gersick, was a pioneer in this area, looking at the performance of diverse teams. And when I was teaching at UCLA, that was, her field of expertise, and I was fascinated by it. My own dissertation chair, Dr. Don Mencken, wrote a book on teams and technology that highlights, how important it is not to be homogenous. And yet, the study that I did at Rockwell showed that was the people were being selected based on their similarities. And the term actually is called HSR, Homo Social Reproductivity. And that's how people are selected to follow. And that term wasn't always popular in that day and age. That was done quite a few decades ago. But it's a term, and thank goodness is accepted more. Hopefully it will stay accepted. But it is been studied. You choose and you get along with people who are like you. And that's why it's important to understand that sometimes the irritation that comes when people are unlike you is not a bad thing. It is good for you to be able to expand with that difference. And that's the kind of work that I did to talk about the benefits of, you know, learning how to work with differences, especially with S and P. So, sorry, J and P, S and P, where did that come from? J and B, judging, no, sorry, judging and perceiving, not judgmental, but judging and perceiving as ways that you can take that irritation and unhappiness making from your workmate, spouse, friend, insignificant other, significant other, and turn it into a, okay, so I know I'm a high J. I know I want to know. Oh, and it's great. My best friend, one of my best friends, Anne Marie, she's super high P and I'm super high J. And at first I was taking it personally because I would keep saying, look, I have this in the day open and this day open, and I want to spend it with you. Please tell me which. And she would say, I don't know. And I would take it personally. And well, if you want to spend time with me, you would close that date. Nope, I don't know. And I never know what comes up. So I've learned when I say to her, these are the days. And if she doesn't close and I end up doing something else, or she ends up doing something else, INTBOAD. There's your tool, another happy 8A tool. It's not that big of a deal. So that's the way you can be happier with people who are different in the way they see the world with respect to judging and perceiving. All right. There's 3 other indices. If you're interested in those, let me know. Maybe we'll cover the rest next week. But that one is a big one where I see a lot of people sort of take it personally and decide that, you know, that relationship just won't work. But if you're at work and that's your boss, you're going to have to make it work. So hopefully the tips that I've just given you will help you in getting along with people who are different on that particular indices, so that it will make your working relationship a little happier than it already is. All right. I'm going to go rest this voice. Hopefully by tomorrow it will be back to my regular voice where I can actually not sound like a guy. I'm getting in touch with my inner male. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live. This is the Asian Oprah giveaway today. It is an audiobook copy of my book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. It is #1 Amazon when it came out and national bestseller. So please do go and on my website, you can go to the very bottom. And there is a contact. And if you put in the subject line, Asian Oprah giveaway, I'll know it is for that. And if you want to see some kind of other cool things, I don't usually do this, but since we're here and we have a few minutes, here's my super cool, it's under red carpet. So these are people I've had the pleasure of talking with, some on the show, some on the carpet. Here we go. See if you can recognize Layla Ali, Don Wells, Quincy Jones. There's the founder of E! Entertainment, Larry, who's coming back on the show, Larry Namer. There's the nanny. There's Kevin Costner. There's Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother. James Kirk, Captain James T. Kirk, Rich Little. The great Dr. Lawler. Manny Pacquiao. There's Carol Baskin from the Tiger King, The Temptations. My co-host, Alon Carter, her son, Don Miguel Ruiz. I was on Let's Make a Deal. There's Wayne. There's Chevy Chase, Jerry Jewell, Pierce Brosnan, his wife, and that robot's name? Did a poem. Richard Dreyfuss, beautiful. Paula Abdul, beautiful. Mrs. Shouldn't do this when I'm down on the count. Anyways, go look. There's the bailiff, Judge Judy's bailiff, my beautiful Limitless Women, Jessica Cox, Anson Williams. Happy birthday. I can't do it. He just had a birthday. There's the husband, filmmaker of, she was in the Avatar. What's her name? There's the beautiful Lieutenant Uhura. So anyways, Crystal Gale. There's Verdine White. A couple gold medal winners. So go and check that out on my website. I am grateful that there's some cool people that I've gotten to interview. All right, that's it for today's version of Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Bells with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel where if you free subscribe, give me the finger. You will get an alert every weekday morning. Thanks for joining me today. Tune in for the rest of the week because I'll be here on my 700th consecutive week on the air, on camera. Dr. Marissa, wishing you peace in, peace out, world peace through, inner peace. Now going at the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.
Take back your life with Dr.